Hello, listeners. Welcome back to another exciting episode of PropTech Mavericks, powered by Habytat and represented by Relimnon Quantum Tech, Dubai, and India. This is your host, Harini, and today we have someone exceptionally joining us. We are speaking with a leader who has shaped sales, customer experience, and business development for some of the top real estate organizations in the country. A visionary known for his strategic depth and people's first approach, Mr. Sharath Hari. With over 2 decades of experience, he has helped build high-performance teams, elevate customer trust, and drive developer success stories. His ability to blend traditional and real estate insights with modern digital innovation makes him a true PropTech maverick. Mr. Sharath, it's absolute pleasure to have a conversation with you. Welcome to PropTech Mavericks.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thank you, Harini.
So let's dive right in. You've built such a remarkable journey across real estate, from sales to leadership and strategic growth. To begin with, can you walk us through your journey, Sharath, and how it has evolved over the years?
Well, it all started, and my inspiration is through my father. My father was working with a media agency 35 years back. So I was always curious about how this advertising, media, marketing industry works. So at a very young age of 18 or 19, I started working with my father to understand what he does on a day-to-day basis, understand client servicing, understand design, understand creativity. And, along the line, it was so fascinating as to how deep and how, in-depth this industry is, and how marketing, communication, branding, strategy, CRM plays an important aspect in day-to-day life. So that's what motivated me into the area of sales, marketing, CRM, strategy, brand guidelines, etc. So after a few years of working with my father, I had the opportunity to work with other agencies who deep dive into product development, go-to-market strategies. I mean, digital had not even evolved at that point of time, but how traditional media was utilized to its fullest is what was fascinating me. And then, with the digital media, digital world evolving, I thought it's high time I educate myself in what's going to be the future of marcom, strategy, and brand. And that's when I went on to do on my master's in psychology and brand design from Deakin Business School, Melbourne. And also to stitch in the business aesthetics of it, I hold a master's in business administration from New South Wales University. And once you stitch all this in together, and then what do you do with analysis? You need analytics to move forward. So that's when Google Sydney happened for me to work with them for a period of less than a year to understand Google Analytics. And that's exactly how my career started, and deep dive into the real estate industry. So it all started with family, and this is where I am now.
That's amazing. Right footsteps, I guess. And it's been a long journey. So in this long journey, what key moments or the mentors have shaped your leadership philosophy in this dynamic industry?
See, I'll be very honest. When I came back from Australia, I was looking for a job, and I didn't. 4 years I was in another country, just educating myself, studying and experimenting. So I needed a platform to exhibit my potential, and for all experiment this what you studied. So when I applied for a job in BPL healthcare. BPL was one of the oldest industries. BPL electronics, most of India has one product of BPL. So that brand fascinated me, and BPL was eventually British Pharmaceutical Laboratories. So I was interviewed for the executive secretary for the CEO. So I said, okay, job is a job. It's a diverse industry. I don't mind being the secretary for the CEO. Every day is a learning. So I happened to meet the CEO, and he said, he started talking to me. What's your background? What can you do? What are you interested in doing? When I spoke about psychology, brand, market penetration, go-to-market strategy, the CEO of BPL said, Sharath, why do you want to be my secretary? You rather handle the marketing. We have 800 products, and 200 more launches. So why don't you oversee that? I'll give you a chance. So he gave me a 3-month probation and, asked me to handle the entire Marcom communications pan India. So it was that man who trusted in me, believed in me, understood where I'm coming from, and gave me a chance to, experiment my strategic potential and also laid a platform for me to showcase what I can really do. So that was my stepping stone into the whole gamut of Marcom strategy, brand building, etc.
That was beautifully put, and such a great opportunity you had and an
True,
experience.
true. Yes, yes.
So staying connected to the core of the real estate seems to be a consistent theme, right? So
Yes.
many professionals diversify into tech or finance, but you have stayed deeply rooted in real estate. What made you remain committed to this sector?
See, first commitment is geography is a very important aspect of it. And me being a local Bangalorean, being born and brought up in Bangalore, gave me the advantage of understanding the real estate market very well. So, for example, I was working with an agency which used to design, from catalogs to brochures to billboards to go-to-market strategies for, you're talking about 5 or 6 top real estate firms in the country. Like it could be Shobha, Godrej, Prestige, Salarpuria, Satwa example. So this agency suddenly threw me into 5 real estate brands, and I had to, streamline the entire go-to-market strategy, launch their product, launch their inventory, launch the strategy, digital, radio, bus branding, everything just fell on my table, and I had to start immediately. So this agency exposed me to the whole gamut of real estate, and it was so fascinating that this industry, there is no end to this. The supply and the demand, it goes hand in hand. I see, for example, COVID seasons, a lot of people, a lot of initiatives were taken about stay at home, be safe. But, I understood at that point of time, a lot of people didn't have homes to stay. It was nothing called as their own house. They had to either move back somewhere or they were renting. So, these own house, a dream house, the concept of owning land, the concept of owning real estate itself, there was a huge gap in trying to make people comprehend that how important real estate is. So if you look at it 10-15 years back, wealthy people would invest in real estate, and then it was purely an investment capsule. So you buy land at X and you sell it at Y, and you're a profitable organization. But breaking it down into pieces, bringing the land to consumers, giving everybody a shelter, people slog work all their life just to probably have their one dream house of theirs. And on the other side, we are building thousands and thousands of houses, apartments, etc. So how do you bridge this gap? The demand and supply is never ending. So that's what kept me fascinating. How do I bring more investments to you? How do I bring more real estate into your life? How important is real estate? What are the aspects of real estate? What are the advantages of real estate investment, your real estate appreciation? And nevertheless, you have a own house, you have land which you're valued at. So you see, there was a huge gap which had to be stitched in. You had to educate people. People had the habit of renting, leasing, moving out, rotational, moving crowds, fractional crowds. But all that today, you see, people are buying investment, buying apartments, villas, residential, and living in it. So that there is a whole dynamic shift in the process of how people are perceiving real estate. And it's not about one-time investment. People are willing to do more than 2-3 times investment. It could be for their kids, it could be for the future, it could be for ROI. So you see, the gap keeps increasing day by day. The demand keeps increasing day by day. There's a lot of players giving the supply day by day. So it's important for a person who's bridging the supply and demand gap to be in between at regular intervals and exhaust his inventory. So this fascinating world of giving everybody a house is what motivates me and drives me day in and day out.
So when you speak about there's no limit to this industry, real estate. So speaking of the evolution, right? The real estate landscape has changed drastically. So you've witnessed the market transfer over the decades. So how customer expectations and sales dynamics changed with the rise of PropTech and digital transformation? What What is your intake on this?
See, there are two types of growth. I mean, in real estate, one is vertical, one is horizontal. The more vertical growth happen in predominantly your CBD areas. If you say Mumbai, Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, Hyderabad, these are the a wish list for a lot of people to live. And when you say Bangalore, it's just not about one geography of Bangalore CBD or Hyderabad CBD, Mumbai, Delhi, for example, there are scope of a few vertical developments, and then you have your horizontal developments which start shaping up real estate over and beyond city limits, over and beyond authority limits. So the vertical and the horizontal growth has to be complemented seamlessly, and with the help of PropTech and these digital platforms, your vertical constructions are visible in your day-to-day lives, because most of the audiences in the IT/BT industry, if you look at Bangalore, which is predominantly dominated by IT/BT, your vertical requirements are quite visible. They can walk across to you, look, feel it's a tangible asset, and you can probably look at investment. But your horizontal developments is something where these PropTech and digital platforms have started bringing land to your platform. They say, for example, sir, if you cannot afford 5 kilometer radius in Bangalore, start looking at options 10 kilometers outside. 10 kilometers outside, we have a plotted development at this rate, we have a high rise at this rate, we have a villamint coming up here, we have apartments coming up here. So these PropTechs and digital platforms have started giving a lot of options to customers or consumers who could plan their existing stay in these vertical developments of Bangalore, and also look at an investment or a futuristic capsule, in the ever growing horizontal markets. So, you have concerns of legalities, your approval, your permissions, because it's somebody's hard earned money who he is probably that could probably be his whole life's investment in one kind of a so-called house. So legalities have changed, the access to information has changed, your pricing has been mapped very well, your ease of doing business has become easy, the options of your geography has become easy. Say, for example, if I just say, pick up property 2 kilometers in my radius, so whether it's north, south, or west, east to where I'm working, so humanly you will not be able to go or have access to all these inventories across. So these digital platforms, these PropTechs have bought exactly what you want right next to you, to your doorstep, or probably they're bringing it on your lap. So the idea of mitigating unwanted legal issues, unwanted, even brokers, for example, has been it's a very interesting industry, like how brokers have been digitized, and everything on this platform. So you have somebody selling, you have somebody buying, your geography is mapped, your rental is mapped, your payments are mapped. So these PropTech firms, or your so-called digital enhancement property solution firms, have elevated it to the next level, where a consumer has the ability to choose depending on whatever parameters. Your filters have become so streamlined nowadays that you have everything digitized, and even your payments are digitized. For example, I've had investors from Tokyo, South Africa, who have not even visited my property, but I've had a seamless transaction, and they've got everything digitized and registered in their name. So that is the kind of evolution which is happening today, and that is what's going to be the future, is what I perceive.
So talking about all these transformations and all, right? So it's been like a great journey also. So every leader faces them, especially in balancing people, process, and technology. What have you been like? What are the challenges have you faced in this digital adoption, and how did you overcome them?
See, these digital adaptations and AI interface, what is happening is, if you minus the digital and the AI aspect, it was 100 to 100% human to human connectivity. So all your dependency, all your psychological analysis, everything had to be driven by another human sitting in front of you. But today there are pros and cons of digitization. There are pros and cons of where a human has to interfere, how much information can technology give and how much information do you want from human interface. See, for example, in a country like ours, a lot of people hesitate to do payments digitally. They do not trust it, or they do not know it, or they've been cheated in the past. And the digital information which I'm giving today has no governing. There is no tangible research behind it. So it's all technology driven. So as much as there is a 90 to 95% digitization, the need of human interface in real estate especially is a serious concern. So you cannot leave everything to the digital aspect of it, because digitization can be incorrect, the numbers could be incorrect, the rules and regulations could be incorrect. uh, there are a lot of challenges where payments are happening. So I always feel a 50% human interface versus 50% digital is all what is required at the need of the 100% digital transaction, because property ticket sizes are bare generally above 1.5 crore. If you look at any part of Bangalore, or if you go far, it's one. So when you're looking at a ticket size of 1.5 crore, the seamlessness, or irrespective of how advanced you are in terms of technology, people in our country would still need human interface. So digital can be used to grab information, compare information, and could help you up to a certain extent to make a decision. But challenges are acceptance. People should accept to understand that this can happen, totally on the digital front, versus human interface, cause there is a lot of money involved in this industry. So these are the kind of challenges which we face day to day, where people are still not warming up to the entire digitization. They just use all these tools for their satisfaction to analyze. But when I'm actually looking at monetizing anything, we still face the challenge of human interface. So your bank loans cannot happen digitally, your payments, your signatures, how much ever automated I have made it. So people still want that human touch. So a good mix of 60% human interface, 40% digital is the norm of today's real estate. And maybe going forward with Gen Z coming up, we could target another 5-10% hike in digitization of how real estate is transacted.
Yeah, I think that's very insightful. 60/40 is maybe, yeah, that's the good idea, like where we have the human interaction also, and involvement in the things also is great idea. And
Correct.
yeah, and that brings us to the heart of the PropTech now. So how do you see technology redefining sales and customer experience for developers today? Are there any digital tools or platforms that have truly impressed you?
Yes, today, everybody wants to see everything. Even see today, when we see vacant land, and once we've understood or agree that we are going to build on this land, I've already started selling my product. So this digital, these digital twins, digital strategy, these this 3D visual impact of what exactly the consumer is going to receive. Say, for example, if I'm building 100 units on a 10-acre plot, and we've signed the agreements and we've started compounding, etc., that's when I start selling. So when I start selling, people want to know. I will tell them, this property will be given to you at X amount of price. You will be able to demand this amount of price with property appreciation. After 3 years, you will get an apartment for 1,200 square feet. So that's clear cut. That's a documented text. But the consumer wants to know, in this parcel, where am I going to fit in? What am I going to see? What is my view going to look like? What are my bathrooms going to look like? What are my bedrooms going to look like? They have questions on and on. The husband has 300 questions, the wife has questions, the kid has questions. So to answer all these questions, these entire automated digital twin, where you can probably I invite people to come into my mock apartment, wear the gadget, tell them to choose the paint, tell them to choose the sofa, tell them to choose the culinary in the kitchen. Just you plug and play everything. The AI tool does a fantastic, throws the entire 360-degree view of your apartment standing on the 14th floor. What you can see, if you look down, what are you going to see? If you look up, you look left, you look right, you look north, south, west, east. So these kind of wow factor. Oh, it builds curiosity within my customers. It's like, oh wow, so in 3 years from now, this is where I'm going to be, this is what I'm going to see. The kid is happy, the wife is happy, the mother is happy. But there is nothing, it's barren land. But with AI automation, the digital twins, the digital presentations, the entire journey, the walkthrough, the feel, the touch, the texture, the go green concept, everything is made so tangible with technology and AI. It answers 80% of the consumer's questions. And as a builder, if I deliver what I promised, I'm top of it. So I get him to see what he wants, he believes in me, he makes me the payment, and I end up construction. So this concept of showing, minimizing the 3 year forecast into a 3 minute walkthrough and getting them on board is a fascinating thing, and it is shaking the real estate today. So people know exactly what they're waiting for, why they are waiting for, and when they are waiting for. It gives them the opportunity to change the color, it gives them the opportunity to change the plan, they can alter the interiors. So everything is so well automated and digitized that, more than what we do, the customers involved with us and, decide on our architecture, look and feel, which in one way makes our job a lot more simpler. So technology has brought in the consumer and the producer a lot more closer, and to have seamless transactions and to give that wow experience to my investor. So this is how this tech has changed the overall perspective of buying. The customer experience is totally changed with digital, because he's no 120% for sure this is what I'm going to get, because that is exactly what the AI or the tool does. So it cannot misinterpret or give you wrong information. So people trust technology, then the brand, then the construction, and then make the money. And that's how my revenue has increased by 36% over the last 3-4 years.
Okay, when you're talking about the AI automation or analytic shaping, so when you told you're giving the experience to the customers on, the using the AI, so what's your take on the future business development in real estate using all this prop tech?
See, all these prop tech, what you can do is there is a limit to AI, there is a limit to technology, there is a limit to everything. AI, you need to be smart enough to understand how much of information AI transforms to the human being and how much of intervention humans have to go. So AI can do a certain level of job. It can probably answer a certain questions. But for example, AI will not tell you if this is 100% Vastu compliance. It does not understand caste, community, creed, culture. AI has never answered Vastu compliance questions. I have experienced it with my 800 crores of project. Certain questions AI cannot answer. Is the water source mixed from Kaveri versus a water tank? What is the level of what happens by using X water, or what happens while using Y water? What is the kind of water being served? So certain questions, certain elements of human sentiment cannot be addressed by AI. But yes, it can ask and answer your basic questions. Facilities near me, metro station near me. So I feel people are only using this tool to be doubly sure if the human is also giving the same answers as what the bot is giving. So people are trying to compare brands versus humans versus AI. So today people are not smart. Everybody is just using certain tools to get the best of. If you ask the same technology to do a price comparison, it would not be able to do. So I am commanding price maybe because I have a 10-acre clubhouse, but my neighbor is commanding a price because he has a 20-acre clubhouse. So I have a neighbor who's talking about a football stadium in his pitch. So these kind of tangible feel is something which Probably a child could get impressed by looking at the sporting arena. Elderly folks could get attracted looking at the, senior living kind of a concept. But these handheld, tangible elements still need that human interference. AI is great for your information. AI is great for your competitive analysis. AI is great for your product price analysis. But in real estate, being a very sentimental and cash conservative society, I would say 55% of 60% of human intervention is relevant, and 40% the AI can do the job. And the sales, marketing, CRM team has to be totally equipped on top of things to see when do you involve a human as quick as possible to close the sale, because you will not expect an AI to give you a closure. So these are the kind of day to day. I don't say it's a challenge. It's never a challenge. It's eased our jobs. But you should know where to use it, where to stop it. When AI is not going to go to their house and pick up the check for you and deposit it in the bank. So the really smart people who understand this technology use AI for a certain reason to psychologically convince the customer and make him comprehend and consume my product. Once I know he's partially convinced about what I am, and that's when the human interference goes to the closure. So I still see a lot of sink, a lot of gap, and it's only evolving day by day. So eventually, with a population, India being the highest populated country in the world, and it's not easy for everybody to accept it at face value, especially with real estate.